It's 107.7 The Bone, Baby Huey and Chasta here. Chasta, I'm so excited. We've been talking about this movie. So last night I went to the special advance screening for the new Edgar Wright movie, Baby Driver, which comes out June 28th. And we're so excited for this guest in the studio right now.
We have superstars in the studio with us right now. So writer and director Edgar Wright. And then we have superstar who played Baby, the lead role, Ansel Elgort. Thank you so much for being here.
That is a superstar name, Ansel Elgort.
I can't say it right. Can you tell me how to say it?
Ansel Elgort.
I keep overpronouncing it. You know why?
She was
because
practiced.
Here's the thing. I'm from the South, so instead of I always try to overpronounce, so I lose that Southern drawl. So sometimes that happens. And the funny thing is, before you guys walked in the door, out this window, you see this car right here? Out this window, this car sped up and it was on fire. And I thought, oh my God, they're here. It was on fire and smoking 2 minutes before you walked in. So I thought that was what you rolled up in.
But no, thank you guys making the time today. We really appreciate it. And so just quick little premise for anyone tuning in and want to know about the movie. So yeah, Baby Driver is about Ansel. You're playing Baby, who's a getaway driver for some criminals out there, and just you're trying to more or less get out of that lifestyle and just all the chaos that ensues with that. So it was really cool for me to watch it. I just walked away, total badass movie. Even last night when I walked out of the Alamo Draft House where the screening was at, my brother came pick me up, and so I told my brother, get out of the car, I want to drive home. So I jumped in and sped off. So for me, I was just so pumped up after that movie. But so Edgar, before the movie, you guys came out on stage and you mentioned that you've been working on this movie more or less for 22 years. Is that true?
Well, when I say working, 22 years ago, I was in listening to music in my bedroom in North London. So it wasn't like at 22 years ago I could say, get Hollywood on the phone. I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally think I've been gearing up to do this movie for that long. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, but I don't think I really could have written it until maybe about 10 years ago when I started spending more time in the States, actually.
Okay.
I literally drove across the States on my own to feel like I'd spent enough time on the American freeways.
Really?
Wow.
That's commitment.
Prepare. It was great. It was one of the best holidays I've ever had.
That's so cool. Now, one of the most obvious things about the movie, besides the badass driving, is the music. I mean, it's all based around Baby's character of listening to music constantly. So did you decide I'm going to get these songs in a movie and kind of write the movie around those songs, or did the concept of the movie come first and then you kind of pick out songs from there?
It was a bit of both. It was the idea was definitely that Baby's character is listening to music the entire time and is timing his car chases and stuff to the music. So I had most of the songs figured out, but then when I started writing, I wouldn't write the scene unless I had the right song. Mm-hmm. So then by the end of it, obviously you're doing that with the idea of oh boy, I hope we can clear all these songs.
That's what we were going to ask.
So was there songs that you wanted to use but you couldn't get clearance to use?
Not really, not anything that was I'm smart enough not to go for some of the sort of, it's smart enough not to write Led Zeppelin into
Yeah, or the Stones, yeah.
The Stones are easier, actually. I've used the Stones before.
Really?
The Stones are easier to use. Led Zeppelin can be expensive.
Yeah, so, I would imagine.
So, but basically, no, I wrote the script and then we cleared them. The only things that were difficult to clear sometimes were dance tracks or hip-hop tracks where they had not cleared any of the samples in the songs.
Oh.
And so in those cases, I actually went back to sometimes the original songs where the samples were from and just cleared them instead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to start lawsuits that way.
Well, you don't want to get the artist in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the artists themselves who are going to end up being liable. So sometimes those people are like, you cannot clear this track.
Ixnay on the...
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So did you just delete those altogether, or...
I replaced them with...
You just replaced them with the OG, what was sampled.
Exactly.
That's smart.
Okay, that's really cool.
They're bummed because they got left out in the rain.
Yes, well, follow through with that.
Yeah, exactly.
All you artists out there.
Yeah.
But so Ansel, for you, just, I mean, a lot of driving in this movie, high chase and all that, high speed chasing. So how'd you prepare for this? Is there a driving school you need to go to for all these stunt driving you have to take on?
Well, I definitely got to live out a childhood dream, and I went to stunt driving school.
Okay.
I did 10 sessions with Jeremy Fry, who is our stunt driver and is the real life Baby Driver. Mm-hmm. I mean, that guy did all the stunts that you see in the movie actually happened. There wasn't green screen trickery. It was all the real deal.
Jesus. That's amazing.
I was gonna say I love that. It's very practical as far
Yes.
as every scene, the way it was all laid out. It was awesome.
It was practical, and it was great because they really wanted it to also feel real. When they cut to me inside the car doing the driving, they wanted it to feel real, and whether or not I was actually doing the stunts, that I should be turning the wheel and pulling the e-brake and acting as if I really were doing those stunts.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see a car movie and the car's doing some amazing thing. They cut inside and the guy's doing this gigantic wheel movement and turning his whole body. But in reality, it's actually moving a car like that is quite subtle movements. It was really cool working with him, and the whole stunt team. I think it's pretty much the top stunt team you can get. So all the stunts in the movie are real and they're really, really cool.
I gotta tell you, I'm super jealous because I have speed racing in my blood. I just have to tell you, my great grandfather was the getaway driver for John Dillinger.
Oh, there you go.
So next stunt car movie you do, keep me in mind.
Yeah, it's in her blood.
Because it's in my blood.
Can I ask you, did he survive? Like, I mean, like John Dillinger didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was obviously not that good.
Yes.
Because
What I
John
mean is,
Dillinger.
but he didn't like he didn't like die in a hail of bullets. Like
No,
Dillinger
here's
himself,
the
right?
deal. No, he was in the mob and then he escaped and he moved out of state and ended up living a kind of a normal life. He was a marionette after that. He had a little monkey and he was like on the street because that's undercover, right? Nobody will look at that guy.
living out in the open.
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what he ended up doing until he passed. But yeah, so if you're
So the prequel is going to be about your great
yeah.
granddad.
His name was Shorty. Shorty
Really?
Mize. Yeah.
Shorty.
Yeah, so I can be the girl with Ansel in the car if you need, if you're looking around.
Yeah.
I got you.
I was going to say something about the driving that I thought was funny. Is my friend, do you know the comedian Kumail Nanjiani
Uh-huh.
off of Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
He saw the movie and the first thing he said, he goes, I guess I have to use the e-brake more often.
That's the key, I guess, right?
Well, Edgar, for you, so as a director, what are some of the challenges of directing these big high-speed chase scenes? I mean, is it a lot of planning going into all this?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of car chases in movies, and I've done some car action in my previous movies, but nothing like this. But it's fair to say that the car chases are as painstaking to make as they are fun to watch. Mm-hmm. So every single shot is like really complicated. It's a lot of sort of safety elements, but also it's just like the marriage of like the actors, the stunt performers, the camera work, and the locations. You think about like opening chase. Just the opening chase alone kind of travels like 30 city blocks.
Yeah.
And a freeway.
Good Lord, yeah.
And so it's just a lot of work. That's like months and months and months of like traffic clearances and getting the cops on board and the state. And
Was that all in Atlanta as well?
yeah,
Alan?
I haven't been to Atlanta, Georgia, but we shot on the I-85, which is the main thoroughfare in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, they must have loved you.
Well, listen, if anybody's listening who was late to church that day, I apologize.
So for a car chase sequence like that, just take the first one, right? How many takes on average does it take to do that? Like in pieces? It's not, I can't imagine. It must take forever.
Yeah, I'd say that chase was probably like 10 days of filming with like the main unit. And then with some of the second unit stuff, probably like another like 3 or 4 days. But then even on those second unit days, like you have a thing where like the stunt guys are like shooting from 6 a.m. and then the actors come in to do their bit at like 11 and then you got like 4 hours. So, but it's also, if you're shooting on the main freeways, there's no room for error. It's like the police are like, you got 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then you
Get it done
off.
or don't, right?
I remember that we ended up going back to the I-85. I remember the first day we shot until 2 p.m. and then got kicked off by the police.
Oh, wow.
And it was a shot that I hadn't got, and the location manager goes, "Great stuff, yeah?" And I was like, "Ah, we never got that shot with the ramp." And he goes, "But the stuff you did get's great, right?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "We still need that shot with the ramp." So spent the rest of the shoot trying to figure out how to get back on the I-85, which we did, and we ended up reshooting about 80% of the sequence because by this time it's like, the thing is, when you're shooting on a freeway, you get no rehearsal. Like, the first time you do it is the first time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, this is happening. There's no rehearsal on the freeway. It's like, this is the day they were shooting on the freeway. So we were really lucky we got to go back because then it was like, okay, we know how to do this now.
Yeah. Your blood pressure must be skyrocketing in that moment.
It's
seriously, like, right?
it's something, it's just an amazing thing to watch is as it's happening, you're doing all of that kind of stunt driving in these like long takes on the freeway. And if you imagine like shooting on the freeway, the thing that you don't have to think about is that you're shooting on the freeway, so you're traveling about 7 miles during the sequence.
Yeah.
But then you have to get off and go all the way back around.
Right, exactly.
So then it's like about 35 minutes to reset just to do another take.
Yeah,
So
where
you
you're
gotta get
not
back.
going 80 miles an hour.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
I'll just drive back.
Yeah.
You have to drive like a regular
It's so
person all of a
strange.
sudden again. It's terrible.
Yeah. Like your adrenaline gets way up. It's like, oh, we're shooting. And now we're resetting.
Yeah. It's like a hamster in a
Everybody's
wheel.
checking their phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Back to one, everybody. See you in 40 minutes.
Well, for both you guys, so Edgar, you just kind of mentioned that you love just chase scenes in cinematic history. So for both you guys, is there any particular movies or iconic scenes that you guys just look at as inspiration?
We're in San Francisco right now. The answer is staring us in the face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not just the first kind of big car chases movies, but one of the best. Bullet, 1968.
Yep.
Like going around all the hills in San Francisco is still one of the greatest car chases of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
I mean, I think of San Francisco as car chase city.
With the
Like, I think-
hills and the
yeah, it's just like it's the
course.
first thing I think of. I think of like Bullet and Dirty Harry when I think of San Francisco.
yes. It's awesome.
Okay, so your second to this will be in San Francisco with us in the film.
Could you maybe cast us in your next
Yes.
movie? What do you kind of see us
What
for?
character
Yeah.
would we play if you were casting us right this second?
Play the granddaughter of John Dillinger's Getaway Driver.
Yes, look at you. That is genius. That's genius.
Can I be like, I don't know, maybe the bad guy? Okay, if Ansel's in the car, can I be like at least the bad guy holding all the money and the, when the heist is taken on? I think I could be good at that.
Yeah.
In the, in the middle seat, in the back seat. Sure. Just like in everyone, you could just shoot both people and like they're squished up against the window. Like, God,
Middle nut.
It could be a comedy with you involved.
I know, totally.
Yeah, I think so.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see those a chase on those hills.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, incredible. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. I'm sure very hard to do, but awesome.
Yeah, talk about hard to do. Yeah, you would probably kill a lot of cars. So we were talking about style. Your favorite directors, like, do you have a favorite director, and how do you feel like you kind of created your directing style?
I think it'd be very difficult to just pick one director because there's so many people that like are such an inspiration to me. So, I don't know, everybody from like Alfred Hitchcock to Sergio Leone to Walter Hill to the Coen Brothers to Sam Raimi, Quentin Tarantino to is that enough?
Yeah, I think that's the greats at least, right?
Absolutely.
I could go on for another 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
Well, for both you guys, so I got to give credit to my buddy Mark Ellis from Schmoes Know and Collider Movie Talk down in LA. So he wanted me to ask you guys, if you could drive any car for one day and pick any soundtrack to listen to it during that day, what would it be?
That's tough.
Oh, I'd go for Steve McQueen's Mustang.
Oh,
Okay,
good
yes,
answer. We
yes,
were talking about
yes.
this before. That was our choice.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing car.
Yeah.
And I think driving around San Francisco in that car, listening to the soundtrack of Bullet by Lalo Schifrin, that would be pretty sweet.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yep.
Ansel, does anything jump out to you?
I would drive James Dean's Porsche Spider.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you know that didn't end well,
I was
right?
going to say, that's a
But I
sad
would
ending right
definitely
there.
still drive it.
Now, you realize that he drove that for about 15 minutes before, like, you know, it's like,
No, he had it for a little bit before then, didn't he?
On the day that when he died, like,
Oh,
so he
man.
was told.
But it wasn't
not-
his fault.
No, but he was told not to. He was taken to the racetrack, and they were saying, don't drive to the racetrack. And then they got out of this gas station. I was just reading a book about James Dean. And then, he took over. And weirdly enough, the guy who is in the Bullet chase, the guy who is driving the other car, Bill
Yeah.
Hinkman, he was with James Dean on that day. The guy who was in the Bullet scene was in the car behind James Dean.
Really?
So there are two of them driving. So he was the first person on the scene trying to get
So
James
he saw
Dean
it
out.
happen. Oh,
He saw it
God.
happen and tried to
Oh
get him
my
out of the
God.
car.
Oh, my God.
Is the guy from the Bullet chase.
Oh my God, that's kind of scary.
That is like Hollywood, weirdness.
But sure, Ansel, have the Porsche
Yeah,
Spider.
exactly. But go ahead. Hey, you did go to stunt driving school, so you should be okay.
But
You'll be fine.
all the stunt drivers tell me, do not get a Porsche. They're like, if you want a Porsche, we need to have a talk.
oh,
Yes.
really?
I still stay in touch with the stunt guys and Robert Nagel, who was the pod driver, the guy
Yeah.
who was actually driving the cars on the freeways and stuff. I said to him recently, I want to think about getting a 90s Porsche. And he was like, Ansel, we need to have a talk. He's like, you can get an American muscle car. That's a muscle car. That's one thing. But a Porsche, they will kill you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
That's a good example of how that can happen.
Any soundtrack that kind of jumps out at you that would be playing in the background, like from a particular movie?
Not Dead Man's Curve. Don't do it.
Oh my God.
Don't do it.
I don't know
Good
why
one.
I'm thinking this. Maybe because Edgar just said Sergio Leone. I would want to drive the Porsche on a windy American road with amazing landscape and listen to the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack.
Yes.
There you go.
that's good.
Nicely done.
That's really good.
Specifically, what track, Ansel?
Oh man,
You sent it to me the other day.
what is that one called?
Ecstasy of Gold.
Yes, that's a great one.
I love it.
Metallica comes
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
They do.
That's true. We got a couple more questions for you
Yep.
guys. So just last night you brought up during the Q&A the research for this movie, how you had to talk to a lot of criminals, then kind of get their-
Ex-cons.
Ex-
You have to
ex-cons.
specify that.
Sorry, ex-cons. They did their time already.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to kind of hear some of the stories about that, like what you learned from them as far as how you set up and wrote the script for this movie.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing to do, and it's something I was really excited to do. And in fact, one of the main guys that I spoke to is a writer that lives in the Bay Area, Joe Lawyer, who is an ex-bank robber and is now a writer. And it's just that amazing thing of like sort of talking about the process, the things that are not really in films. Like the main thing that you have in films is people aren't driving vintage Mustangs, in
Right.
bank robberies, because A, they're conspicuous, and B, they're way too expensive to
Right.
just ditch.
Yeah.
So the cars that bank robbers will be driving will be things that they've stolen that day, and from a long stay parking structure, and then they kind of like use them and then ditch them. So they're never using super fancy sports cars or
Yeah.
muscle cars that cost $250,000.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And so we got to talk about the cast real quick. All-star cast. Besides Ansel, I mean, you got Jamie Foxx, John Hamm, even Kevin Spacey,
Spacey.
Eliza Gonzalez, John Bernthal, even Flea are in this movie.
Yeah, Flea made
I
a
know.
surprise appearance.
So
that was
just
cool.
for you, Ansel, what was it like to work with all these people? And I'm sure these veteran legends, I'm sure, did you learn a lot from them as well?
Yes, I mean it's a dream come true. As a young actor working with those kind of actors, I'm totally spoiled now, and hopefully I get to work with a cast like that again. But it's like even now, every time someone asks me, "Oh, who else is in your movie?" I sort of have a smirk, and I know I'm about to drop the epic bomb on them of how amazing this cast is.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah. So we like to end our interviews with a very special question, and it's even more special with you being here as a director because it's about Cameron Crowe, so my favorite director and my
I know
favorite.
Cameron.
Yeah. Do you know him personally?
I do.
Oh my God, I'm one step away.
Yes.
My favorite film is Almost Famous, and you've made it obvious that you love music. So Cameron, spends a lot of time with music in his films. In fact, he said in interviews that he will think of music and then write a film around that. So in the last scene of Almost Famous, we always ask our rock stars. I think this is the first time we've asked a director and an actor this
absolutely.
question. Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. So in the last scene of Almost Famous, the question is asked, what do you love about music?
Oh,
We always get this pause.
We
by
love the
way.
pause.
Yeah.
And the pause is great.
Yeah.
it's transportative.
Never got that answer. That's great.
It doesn't quite make sense as to why, as a human race united, all of us can hear something and feel something. Why is it that a chord makes you feel a certain way? Why is it a chord progression or a melody does something? It really is one of the closest things we have to magic. It just doesn't make sense, and I think everyone's still trying to figure that out. And I know music can seem formulaic, but it's always when people break that formula that it really touches you in the right way. And there's endless possibilities with music.
I've never been brought to tears by an
Oh my
answer to that
God.
question.
Oh my God.
That's very good.
That is wow. That is awesome. No, guys, thank you for that.
That's impressive.
No, but Ansel, Edgar, thank you guys so much making the time to encourage everyone out there. Go see Baby Driver
sure.
when it comes out June 28th. It's badass. It's like going to be one of the all-time great car chase scenes of all time.
And soundtracks.
Yeah, soundtrack, everything about it I love. So like, thank you guys so much. For everything else, go to their website, babydriver-movie.com. And thank you again and good luck with the rest of your press junket for the rest of the day.
Thank you, guys.